Hey everyone, we're so excited today to finally give you a complete look at our new flagship Google Pixel Watch.
Brand new watch for Android, but it's also a Fitbit watch. We're here with James Park, who's the head of Google's wearables arm and has been head of Fitbit, and we're talking about Pixel Watch. James, it's great to see you in person.
Yeah, great to see you again as well.
Yeah, we talked at I.O., and the Pixel Watch looks like the arrival of what was promised as this, this reinvention of Wear OS. Do you imagine this being kind of the model for where watches are going?
I think the hope is that it's the the best version that Google and Fitbit can collectively put forth, and I think you can see it in the product. It has a lot of the best of Google. It has the Google Home app, it has Google Maps, Calendar, YouTube, and then one of the most killer apps for wearables today is health and fitness. So now we're able to deeply integrate Fitbit functionality into the watch as well, which is great.
So for the Fitbit part, it's interesting not knowing what to expect. And I know I was anticipating that some features would be there, but not all. This looks like a pretty complete Fitbit experience.
I think that's one of the reasons that we've waited for this moment, is to make sure that we got the best of Fitbit into this product. Because again, one of the key reasons that people buy and enjoy and benefit from wearables is really getting the insights and help around their health and fitness.
So where do you see it in relation to, there are also these other Fitbit wearables that are out now, Fitbit Sense 2, the Versa 4, and some other trackers as well. Where do you see this in the lineup?
It's really about a portfolio approach. So the Google Pixel Watch really is about being Google's flagship premium smartwatch that has what we call personal intelligence in the form of Google apps, combined with health and fitness. But because of the portfolio approach, we're trying to create devices and solutions that, different price points, different feature sets, et cetera, so that it gives people different ways to enter the ecosystem.
And those are also iOS compatible, and I know that the Pixel Watch, I think, is for Android. Do you imagine that that's going to be a clear differentiator going forward, or?
We'll have to see over time. I mean, today, really, the Google Pixel Watch is the best companion for the Pixel phone. But clearly, we also have a health mission, which is about making these technologies accessible and affordable to as many people as possible. So we'll have to see whether that evolves over time.
Yeah, in terms of fitness and health features, the heart rate feature, which is very touted, has a very high ping rate. And it was interesting, it was mentioning there was like a once per second heart rate check. Sounds like it's putting itself in a territory that's more like fitness trackers, and even kind of reaching a different level than other smartwatches. How do you see it?
Well, the one thing I mentioned in the keynote was that heart rate is such the foundation of so many of the health and fitness experiences. So that's why we paid a lot of attention to it. There's a lot of investment in taking Google machine learning expertise and applying it to the problem. So it's resulted in the best heart rate tracking that Fitbit's ever developed yet. And it's the foundation of active zone minutes, our sleep tracking, our daily readiness score, et cetera. So again, it's a critically important feature, and again, one that we've invested a lot into.
It's something that I look at some of the health sensor features that aren't on here, and I know we're on the Sense 2, things like temperature tracking. I guess blood oxygen is coming in an update, but stress tracking. It sounds like the heart rate, which I know is the core to a lot of different things, is being built up first and perfected. Like, do you imagine other sensors kind of being added onto the platform over time?
Over time, yes. So I think one of the things that we want to do is we want to release products that have really amazing fit and finish and polish and are bug free. So with Google Pixel Watch, again, the investment in heart rate, and then you'll see other technologies and sensors around health and fitness move into this line of products over time.
Do you think that 24 hours for battery life sounds not bad for smartwatches? It's definitely different from other Fitbits. Like, how do you imagine it in terms of use, or do you see that maybe getting better over time, or I know it's something that everyone's trying to deal with in smartwatches.
Yeah, with what we call sort of full OS devices, whether it's running other competitive OSs or Wear OS, like battery life is definitely a challenge when you want to run things like Gmail or calendar, maps, etc. So it's definitely a challenging problem. That's why we also have the portfolio approach today. If you want a device with super long battery life, we have the Fitbit line of products, which have some of the helpful features, but again is more focused on fitness and health and longevity, battery life, cross-platform compatibility. If you want the best of Wear OS and the best companion to the Pixel phone, and that has true smarts and health and fitness, then the Pixel Watch is where it's at.
It's interesting too because when I think about what this could be doing, I think about some of the new features with cellular, with the Play Store, and with Fitbit being on board, and with Google being what Google is. I mean, what sort of opportunities do you see coming? Because it sounds like Fitbit could also be unleashed to come up with some new ideas on a very connected, Google and Android ecosystem.
Yeah. So with Google and Pixel, what we want to do is create a portfolio of experiences that work really well together, and it's not just tied to the hardware as well. So I think one of the things that we want to do with Fitbit is make it available on as many devices and experiences as possible, whether it's the watch or the phone or the tablet. I'd hate to see it constrained just to one type of experience.
I have to ask because I've liked a lot of the Fitbit watch faces in the past, and I know those are on the Versa and things. Are some of those going to come over, or do you imagine sort of like a cross-pollination of those?
I think there's a lot of ideas that can cross-pollinate. I think one of the challenges, the Fitbit line of products has a squircle display, the Google Pixel Watch has a circle display. So I think there's definitely ideas that we can take, but we also want to create something new in terms of the experience as well.
When it comes to sleep, everyone's kind of exploring new ways to get there. Some methods are using bedside sensors or not, or some are wearing their watches to bed. Do you imagine like the vision of sleep changing over time, or do you? I'm curious about that because it's something that I start looking at a lot.
The sleep experience, how people sleep, and any type of technology or tools that you use to improve it. It's actually one of the more personal things around health and fitness. I think people are very sensitive to what they wear in their body when they go to bed, and the type of technology that also gets introduced to the bedroom. So again, that's where the portfolio approach comes into play. We do have a Nest product today that can help with sleep tracking if you don't want to wear anything on your body. If you're okay wearing a watch, we have the Google Pixel Watch. We also have the Sense and the Versa. If you want something more minimal, we have something like the Inspire line of products as well, which are really much more slimmer, unobtrusive, et cetera. So I think it's really, we have a solution that hopefully works for somebody if improving their sleep is something that's really important to them.
Do you think that people would, with the 24-hour battery life, and I've thought about this with smartwatches and sleep, do you have any recommendations on watch for like times to recharge, or is it sort of up to people to
Yeah,
figure
so
out?
obviously I've been using the Google Pixel Watch a lot, in development. I've gotten into a routine where usually it's in the morning for me when I shower and then get dressed and then grab a quick bite. That's when I'll charge the watch, and it's worked really well for me. So I think again, it's people are going to have to find their own personal rhythm. There's no one size fits all, but there's definite and convenient ways to make it work.
Yeah, I think about that as I start using it more for sleep tracking and for all these extra senses. It's something I want to wear to bed, and then I go, okay, I'm going to change my cycle a little bit and figure that out.
Yeah, but I think the great thing is that you should expect up to 24 hours of battery life. So that's really the key benchmark that we were trying to hit with this product.
When I think about heart rate, I kind of asked before, it's such a rich source of so many other potential signs of things. I know there's been other types of studies that have sprung up from it. Do you see the heart rate tracker on Pixel Watch as being more adept at potentially pulling more data out of the heart rate data?
Well, I think the idea of applying machine learning to data sets is still something that in health and fitness, it's still pretty early on. So I'm particularly excited to see like what new insights we can uncover, because the prior way of developing these algorithms was something that we call heuristics based, using rules, and it was very manual, and you had to fine tune all these different parameters, and it was a pretty difficult process. But now with machine learning, I think there's new things that we'll uncover along the way that I'm super excited about.
Also, I think about insights and serving up insights, being aware of trends. I know those have shown up a lot on Fitbits in the past with Pixel Watch and with the software that's in that interface. Do you see different ways to potentially evolve that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the benefits of machine learning, it'll be much easier for us to generate cross-correlated insights. So not just looking at insights generated from one particular sensor like heart rate, but combining, the output from heart rate with the stress sensor, with data from sleep tracking, et cetera, and creating insights that kind of cross those different types of data.
And I know we talked about this a bit last time regarding Google Fit and Fitbit. Is this a watch you're going to want to use mainly Fitbit for? Or does Google Fit kind of come into the picture there? Do you see that those two kind of intertwining, or are they going to remain pretty separate?
Yeah, so Google Fit will continue to exist, but we consider the Fitbit experience to be the flagship primary health and experience for Google users.
And do you see too I guess in a similar way of insights, there seems like a lot of opportunity for Fitbit-powered parts of the experience to make their way into more apps. Do you see opportunities there? Because now that you have Google Play and a lot of that, it seems unleashed to possibly a lot more partners.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only Google Play, but we just announced Health Connect as well, which is the Android ecosystem's way of sharing health and fitness data between different devices and services. So I think that's a big way to unlock even more potential. So us being able to import data from other devices and services, especially ones that we wouldn't develop ourselves, and then the inverse, which is exporting Fitbit health and fitness data to other services as well. So I think you're going to see just a lot of cool things happen now that Health Connect's available to developers.
I know something else I wanted to ask, which was more on the design. Looks really sharp. It's one size, and I was thinking, is that something? Did you think about making this in different sizes, or do you feel? Is that something you might plan to do, or do you feel like that's the one for everyone?
I'll have to go back to the portfolio approach. I can't again talk too much about the roadmap, but we want to make sure that there's a solution for everyone's needs in the future.
I haven't tried the cellular feature yet, but are there other things that you see cellular factoring into with Fitbits? I know there's some fall detection, SOS capabilities. Are there other things that might play in there?
Yeah, I think the emergency SOS fall detection is a great use case of LT, because I think in the past people have always struggled, well, what's the use case for LT on a wearable if you might have your phone? But I think one of the exciting things and possibilities for wearables with cellular capability is that over time, it just starts to gradually take over more and more functionalities of the phone, and figuring out those use cases and making them really helpful and useful to people is going to be a really exciting job for me and the rest of the team, and especially the product managers, designers, engineers.
With music being so much a part of fitness, and with music being more available on this watch, do you see more interplay between that with Fitbit, and will there be music playlists or things to tap into, suggested playlist routines? Yeah,
absolutely. Like music and fitness just are so tightly linked together and go hand to hand. I think the first step for us was just making apps like Spotify and YouTube just available on a device, and then after that the possibilities are obviously pretty endless.
Well, it's great talking to you, and curious to try it out.
Yeah, right. Thanks for chatting.